Assuming we're going to install Oracle database on this box, we'll start in Windows. This is a Windows Server 2008 R2 machine called Aura MT. What are some tasks that we need to take care of as an administrator? Well, we want to inventory the system to take a look at what we're dealing with in those four major subsystems: memory, processor, disk, and network. And I just want to make sure we're comfortable in doing that in both Windows and Linux environments. So I'm going to right-click my command prompt and make sure that I'm starting it as an administrator. I'll boost the font to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Go to the root of drive C and we'll do a CLS to clear the screen. From a command prompt in Windows, you can run system info, and I'll pipe that to more. And this queries the system to come back with a pretty comprehensive metadata list. As you see, we've got operating system version, install date, uptime, processor metadata, and memory, physical memory and virtual memory, hotfixes that are installed. I'm pressing space to continue. And finally, it ends with an inventory of network interface cards along with their logical IP address and their physical MAC address. So that's pretty cool. MSInfo32, if you run that from a command prompt or a run prompt, this is a graphical version of the system info. It's been around in Windows client and server operating systems for a long time, and you can just simply navigate in this tree view the hardware and software environment of the system. The system summary page gives you the really need-to-know information regarding operating system version, processor, RAM, etc. If you're interested in storage, we've got drives, disks, SCSI, and IDE, etc. that gives you a nice inventory of file systems, free space, volume label, etc. A tip that some people don't know: you can select System Summary and do either a save or an export. If you save, it gets saved, and by it I mean the system report, as a .nfo file. And this is a proprietary system information file that can be actually loaded into system information by coming in and doing a file open. The advantage of that is that you have this ability to parse the tree. The other way to go is to export. And here you can actually export it as a text file. I'll save a copy to my desktop. If you wanted to export just a part of the tree, it took a little while to save the file because I selected System Summary. You can select a particular level in the tree and export just that if you want to. Let me minimize everything and open it up. And there it is. It's actually formatted pretty nicely. Cool. So that's Windows. Now let's switch over to Oracle Linux 6. This is an installation of Oracle Linux 6.5. A little bit of history here. Oracle has their own distribution of Linux, obviously. It's called Oracle Linux Server, and it's very, very similar. As a matter of fact, it's a fork of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So if you've used RHEL, you'll be instantly at home here with Oracle Linux Server. As you can see, I've loaded the GNOME desktop. I don't know if you have that going on your system or not. It's easier to get around, I find, with GNOME. It's worth the little bit of overhead penalty you pay. Specifically, instead of messing around with terminal commands, we can just open up System, About This Computer, and the System Monitor tool gives us need-to-know information right on the system page here, in terms of installed memory, processor. If we want to look at file systems, available space, etc., there's the File Systems tab. Resources, which is similar to Task Manager in Windows, and then our process list. Of course, if we want to open up a terminal, we can. Make this a little bit bigger, okay? And then we can simply use Linux commands like dfh if we're interested in looking at our file systems and disk space usage. If we want CPU information, we can cat out into the proc virtual file system, CPU info. We can do a cat proc mem info if we're interested in memory metadata. Let me do a clear. Another way to get at memory is the free command. And of course, we can redirect this output. Instead of the standard out, which is the terminal window, we can redirect to a text file if we want to. The kernel, remember, is the core of the Linux operating system. It's the interface between your hardware and the OS and ultimately the user. We can dump out our Linux kernel variables, sbin sysctl. Whoops, sbin sysctl-a. There we go. We didn't need a cat for that. If we want to know the kernel version, that's uname. If we want network subsystem, it's ifconfig. You Windows people are probably thinking ipconfig. Nope, it's ifconfig. That's going to give you everything you wanted to know about your network card. What ports are being used, what ports are open. Let me clear again. That would be netstat. I'll try tulpn. What tasks are running? Top is always good for that. Control C to exit. Display all running processes. Let's clear again. PS, AUX is a pretty comprehensive list. We can also PS, AUX, and pipe, grep, Oracle just to look for tasks that contain Oracle. Makes sense because I don't seem to have Oracle installed on this box. So there you have it, a little tour of inventorying Windows and Linux systems in preparation of an Oracle database install.